Bill Press to the show. Bill Press, of course, you hear right here on weekday mornings on KPOJ before us, 3 to 6 a.m. You can see him now on Current TV. And Bill, one of the great guys in the business, nice guy, smart guy, and he's with us. His new book, The Obama Hate Machine, The Lies, the Distortions, and Personal Attacks on the President and Who is Behind Them. BillPress.com, the website. Bill, welcome to the show.
Hey, my God, with that flowery introduction, I'll come back anytime.
Well,
how you doing, Carl? Very good morning to you.
I'm doing great, and I listened to at least 2 hours of your show as I'm up and around and prepping my show. And by the way, congratulations on being on Current TV. That's fantastic.
It's really a lot of fun. You know, It's just the same good radio show we've been doing for a few years now, and takes it up one more notch to cable television.
Well, we need it. We need all hands on deck. Bill, I was before I get to your book, the first question I had for you, you kind of addressed in your parting shot today, but let me ask it anyway. I think most people agree, as you said in your parting shot, that the ruling on the Affordable Care Act, the rulings, really will turn on Anthony Kennedy and Chief Justice Roberts. I think the rest have made up their mind. My question was for you was if the bill, the mandate is struck down or the whole bill is struck down, the effect on the campaign for President Obama.
You know, we talked about that a lot this morning on the show, and there's two schools of thought on it. I'll give you what mine is, but what stirred things up this morning is James Carville came out yesterday and said the best thing that could happen to President Obama would be for to lose in the Supreme Court, for the Supreme Court to overrule Obamacare. And I disagree with James. I want to win everything I'm in, right?
Absolutely. I agree.
I don't go to the Supreme Court to lose. I don't go to a basketball game to lose. I don't buy a Mega Million ticket to lose, right?
Right.
I always do. But so I think a win would be a big validation for President Obama. I think we survive a defeat because people will see that here's this Bush v. Gore court. Here's the Citizens United court, one more time, just doing whatever the rubber stamp for Republicans
and
in Congress.
Ignoring precedent. That's the thing.
Precedent.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the Commerce Clause has been tested and upheld over and over again. So this would be a purely political decision. But I'm not as pessimistic as other people are. I think you cannot take, as you know, Carl, you can't take their questions and say, well, this is how they're going to vote. They're doing their job, right? They've got to kick the tires and really ask tough questions. Even Sotomayor asked them some tough questions.
That's right. And other than really Antonin Scalia and Sam Alito, who are openly hostile to the law, and we know how Clarence Thomas is going to vote. If he doesn't copy Scalia's paper, he's going to go home and get Virginia, his wife's decision.
I was going to say his wife will tell him how to vote.
Bill Press with us. The book is The Obama Hate Machine, BillPress.com. Let's get to the book because I really enjoyed it. And
thank you.
In one of the early chapters, Bill, you go back to Lincoln, to FDR, and talk about Father Conklin and the radio priest and Bill Clinton. What's different, in your opinion, with the vitriol against those presidents and President Obama? Is it more race this time? Is it different?
Well, it is different, and it's exponentially different. First, and I start, by the way, and I always feel compelled to say this. Look, I think criticism of any president is legitimate, it's healthy, and it's part of our democracy.
Sure.
I mean, I go to the White House every day, and like yesterday, there's always some kind of protest in front of the White House, and I love it. I mean, that's, makes me feel like people are really kind of doing their thing. But criticism of policy is one thing, and criticism of a personal attacks is another. And with President Obama, we have seen more personal, ugly, nasty attacks against him than any president, I believe, since Abraham Lincoln. And I have a lot of research in the book to demonstrate that. We think of Abraham Lincoln as Saint Abraham right now. He wasn't considered that in his day. He was reviled and talked about how ugly he was, his ugly personal features. And then no president has had that treatment until you get to President Obama. I think some of it, Carl, is not all of it. I think some of it is definitely racist. People can't stand the first black man in the Oval Office, but I mean, you look at what he's been called. Rush Limbaugh calls him a jackass, right? I mean, this is the president of the United States. He's been called a racist, been called a terrorist, un-American, socialist, fascist, Nazi, kind of.
And as you point out, they're trying to make him illegitimate, something other than a true American. That's at the heart of it.
Right. The key word there is other, and that's what I call it, the othering, first of candidate Obama and the othering of President Obama, and it is still going on. Before the Mississippi primary, we saw that poll, 55% of people in Mississippi think he's a Muslim, right? Now, for them, Muslim means terrorist.
Right. It just doesn't mean other. It means other's going to harm you.
Yes. And then Joe Arpaio, this wacky sheriff in Arizona, is as we speak, conducting this investigation still into President Obama's birth certificate, for God's sake.
It is unbelievable.
So he's other. He wasn't born on the mainland. He wasn't even born on the United States. I mean, they don't even think he was born on this planet.
Yeah, that'll be next, Bill. Bill Press with us. The great book out, The Obama Hate Machine. Learn more at BillPress.com and listen to Bill 3 to 6 a.m. before our show, Carl, in the morning, and now you can see him on current TV.
I'm just a warm-up act for you, Carl.
Yeah, that's okay. I look like I'm a warm-up act for you, but like 18 hours ahead. Bill, in the book, you have a list of organizations that are fully or partly funded by the Koch brothers. It is amazing, their tentacles.
Well, I identified 57 organizations that they either partially or for the most part, fully fund. And that's the thing, Carl. I really wanted to expose these Koch brothers. Everybody knows Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, but nobody knows the third and fourth richest men in America are Charles and David Koch, big oil and gas barons, head of Koch Industries, and they have put more money. They not only have a lot of money, but they've put a good chunk of their money, more money than anybody else, into politics, and it's all right-wing politics. And they are everywhere. The Heritage Foundation, Koch brothers started it. Cato Institute, Koch brothers started. Dick Armey's outfit, Freedom Works, right? They're the ones taking on Orrin Hatch in Utah. It's all Koch brothers. Americans for Prosperity, Koch brothers. Scott Walker in Wisconsin, Koch brothers. Scott Brown in Massachusetts, funded by the Koch brothers. John Kasich in Ohio. So they are like everywhere. And 2 days before the book came out, which is just about a month ago, they held a weekend retreat, which they do twice a year with their corporate buddies, and they raised $100 million for anti-Obama ads in this campaign.
Yep, and there'll be more to come. They'll shovel it in. Bill Press with us. The Obama Hate Machine is the book, BillPress.com. Bill, I was listening to David Korn on your show, and we have David on from time to time with his new book, and saying that, President Obama, a lot more aggressive and engaged against the Republicans than people think. But I think one of the president's great strength in pushing back against this hate machine is his dignity. And I'm looking at the Washington Post ABC News poll that just came out yesterday. His favorability at 53%, Mitt Romney's at 34%. The American people, by and large, like this president, and one of the reasons, I think, is he has kept his dignity during all these attacks.
I get that question often when I go out for book signings. People say, why doesn't Obama strike back? Why doesn't he lash back, when they say some of this stuff? And that's my response, Carl. I believe he doesn't dignify these attacks by responding. He is very comfortable in his skin with who he is, right? He's had a lot of these attacks through the years, and I think people respect the fact he maintains his calm, his dignity. Maybe inside, it really burns him up, but he doesn't show it, and I think that's part of his strength, and that's his character, and it's his strength of character, if you will.
And I believe it does spring, as you say, from his nature, Bill. And I think juxtaposed or in front of the gutter politics, it's magnified to a positive level even more. Hey, Bill, thank you so much, and you do such a great job before us.
You're
3 to
so
6.
Great.
I love that you're on current TV, and I hope people will pick up The Obama Hate Machine. The author, Bill Press, with us, BillPress.com.
And I am proud to start the day on KPOJ.
Yeah, we call ourselves the Plymouth Rock of progressive talk. So
we got it. All right,
we love it. Bill, thanks so much.
Thank you, Carl. See ya.